For many years, the US dollar has been the world's dominant reserve currency. It's used for international trade, foreign exchange transactions, and as a store of value by central banks around the world. However, in recent years, we've seen a decline in the usage of the dollar, and this has raised concerns about the future of the currency. Welcome back to our channel, where we discuss the latest news and trends in the global economy. In today's video, we'll be exploring a topic that's been making headlines recently: the future of the US dollar. Is this the end of the dollar as we know it? Let's find out. The US dollar's dominance as the main global reserve currency is under threat as nations struggle to distance themselves from Washington's sway. Nowadays, the dollar is used in approximately 90% of all currency transactions, and about 60% of central banks' foreign exchange reserves are stored in US dollars. Yet, as some significant global powers started to de-dollarize their trade relations in 2014, the dollar's reserve status started to wane. The de-dollarization process has been hastened by the war in Ukraine and the sanctions that followed. Since 2008, China and other economies have expanded more quickly than the US economy, and some important US allies, like Britain, have lagged. COVID also violently shook the entire system, and we're still very much suffering from the virus's effects on our health, the disruption of our supply lines, and the enormous sums of debt that lockdowns caused. But such a withdrawal had little room or purpose when the US had clear-cut global dominance, as it did in the years following the conclusion of the Cold War, being the world's largest economy, technological leader, and greatest military power. Yet, even though US influence has declined in those many areas, so too have the dangers of a systemic withdrawal for nations considering it. On the other hand, Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the following imposition of sanctions on Russia have drastically increased the dangers of remaining within the dollar system, particularly if you're outside the US's cozy circle of close allies. As the tanks crossed the border over a year ago, the US and its allies reacted quickly. Russia's unrestricted access to the dollar payment system was abruptly cut, just as Iran had been earlier in the previous decade. According to Zoltan Poszar, head of the worldwide strategy at the Swiss bank Credit Suisse, this unexpected limitation served as a huge warning to every other nation that relies on the global dollar payment system. Any nation might be barred from the US government's authority if Russia could be. Poszar believes that in addition to the chance to leave the system provided by the US's relative decline in comparison to other superpowers, this is necessary in order to prevent a nation from possibly finding itself subject to the whims of Washington in the future. Poszar believes that a new multipolar worldwide monetary system is taking shape. He has dubbed it Bretton Woods III, in reference to the notion that the world has gone through 3 different international monetary systems since the end of World War II. The first was created at the 1944 Bretton Woods Conference in the US, where the Allied powers attempted to establish the fundamental principles governing the operation of the post-war global monetary system. The World Bank and the International Monetary Fund were established as a result of this agreement, and a system of fixed currency exchange rates pegged to the dollar and later to gold was also established. However, the system is no longer in place because the US refused to continue maintaining the dollar's fixed price in gold at the beginning of the 1970s. While the US's share of global merchandise exports has decreased from 12 to 8% since 2000, the dollar has maintained a 40% or so market share. The weakening of many nations' currencies in relation to the dollar has made the battle to reduce inflation more difficult. The expected pass-through of a 10% increase in the value of the dollar into inflation is 1% on average. As a result of their larger reliance on imports and a higher proportion of the dollar-invoiced imports when compared to established countries, developing markets are particularly vulnerable to these pressures. For starters, the Chinese government was taken aback when the Russian central bank's foreign exchange reserves were taken after the invasion of Ukraine. Chinese assets might also be in danger in the case of a conflict between the US and China. Yet, China is covertly attempting to unseat the dollar. Members of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, a significant regional organization led by China and Russia, came to an agreement on a roadmap for enhancing commerce in local currencies at their recent summit in Uzbekistan. The SCO's economic strategy includes a roadmap for using local currencies in commerce and creating alternative payment and settlement systems. This agenda is in line with the individual policies of the most influential members of the group, including Iran's recent call for a single SCO currency, China's deteriorating relations with the United States, India's use of non-dollar currencies in its trade with Russia, and Russia's attempt to soften the blow of Western sanctions. Regional integration was suggested as a way to alleviate development shortfalls, particularly by increasing the proportion of local currency settlements, fostering the growth of local currency cross-border payment and settlement systems, and encouraging the creation of an SCO development bank. China's efforts to de-dollarize do not just come from Beijing's central government. Local financial institutions and governments have also participated in several of the initiatives. The Sino-Russian Financial Partnership is one illustration. It was October 2015. The Sino-Russian Financial Alliance was founded as a non-profit organization for cross-border financial cooperation by China's Harbin Bank, a local commercial bank, and Russia's Sberbank, the largest savings bank in Russia by assets. The main objective of the alliance is to create a reliable framework to support Sino-Russian trade, encourage the use of local currencies in bilateral settlements, and facilitate complete bilateral financial cooperation. The initial membership of this financial alliance consisted of 35 parties comprising 17 Russian and 18 Chinese financial organizations, small and medium-sized banks, insurance firms, and trust investment businesses. Vice Governor of Heilongjiang Province Sun Yao stated at the alliance's inception that it is a vital platform to assist the development of the China-Mongolia-Russia economic corridor. The future of the dollar is hard to predict with absolute confidence, but one thing is certain. Our period is one of immense change and uncertainty. It's critical to keep educated and involved as the global economy develops and new firms enter the market. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date on the latest news and analyses, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. And, as always, thanks for watching.